Hello, hi. Jeffrey and Sarasota Rising Living Arts Festival, Sarasota, doing one of my favorite things ever, which is talking to amazing people in our area, our arts practitioners, about what they do, why do they do that voodoo that they do so well. And with me today is one of my favorite people in the world. Sarah Wertheimer is the executive director of Embracing Our Differences, and we're going to hear all about that and talk about that amazing season that's coming up. Your books are on point behind you. So for those of you that are watching this podcast, you'll see that Sarah has amazing stuff and books and smart things all around her. We're gonna talk about it. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Jeffrey. Great to be
Well,
with you.
welcome to our Visit Sarasota podcast, Behind the Masterpiece. So right now, just so you know, you're the masterpiece.
A little intimidating.
Has anyone ever called you a masterpiece before?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Sarah, you're a masterpiece.
Why, thank you,
And
Jeffrey.
we're gonna get behind you today and talk about like we're gonna talk about you. What could be better than that? You know, I like talking about me. Do you are you somebody that likes to talk about yourself?
No, I like to talk about our organization and the work that we do.
Okay. Well, we'll do that too. We'll do that too. You've been how long have you been with Embracing Our Differences?
11 years now.
Has it been that long?
Yes, I can't
You
believe
were a
it.
child when they
Sure,
hired when they hired
we'll go
you.
with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So when you first got the job, what were some of your thoughts when you first landed this amazing position as executive director?
I was so excited at the time, but also so intimidated by the art world. It's not something that is my background, and so I felt like I had so much to learn and grow in this sphere. And now I just absolutely love and appreciate the arts even more than I did at that time, and really appreciate how much more we do outside of the arts, really in the education world as well.
So what's your background? What did Sarah want to be when she grew up?
So my degrees are in philosophy and Spanish,
Oh my goodness
and
gracious. No
yeah,
bueno. Seriously? Okay.
a little bit different, yes. I thought that I wanted to be an attorney for a long time. Then I
You
was
would be a
going to
great
go into
attorney.
Spanish translation. Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I bounced around in a lot of different ways, but eventually really found a home in the nonprofit world.
So, was there a I'm sure there was university involved somewhere in helping you make some decisions. Where did you graduate from?
Yes, I went to University of Central Florida in Orlando, UCF.
Nice. Excellent. Did you feel like you got everything out of that school that you wanted to?
I feel like I got a lot out of school and out of the whole experience. I feel like I just grew a lot as a human going through those college years.
Yeah.
But after I graduated college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I moved to Costa Rica for a year just to really fully immerse myself in Spanish and just to get to know myself better.
And somebody was single at that point,
Yes,
so they could
definitely.
do whatever they want and go wherever they want. And so there's something
Yeah, that's the
great
time to do it.
there
21
that
years old.
oh my gosh, I said that to the to Aaron who was helping me with the festival. I'm like, honey, this is the time, when you don't want to wait till you're old and gray and then trying to figure out, well, where am I gonna go and what am I gonna do now? Were you familiar with Sarasota and this arts community before you took the job?
Yes, I am born and raised in Sarasota. So I am
What?
one of the few.
Oh my God.
Yes, I grew up in the public school system here, Brentwood Elementary, McIntosh Middle, Sarasota High. So for me, this was coming back home. I thought temporarily, and then I really just grew to love this philanthropic community here in Sarasota and Manatee.
It's you know what? It's rough. I mean, the arts is not for the simple-minded. I mean, it's work. People don't realize how much work it is. And then
Absolutely.
dealing with conflict and dealing with personalities and all the things that we get to do. Life throws you little curveballs, now and then. Um,
Oh
how do
yes.
you handle adversity in your life? So do you have a go-to or a saying or a phrase or something in your mission that helps you cut through the muck?
I think for me, the part that I try to stay focused on is that the core values of our organization are really kindness and respect. So as much as I might not always be receiving that kindness and respect from others,
Yeah.
I know that the best path for me and for the organization is to try my very best to give that kindness and respect back. It's more challenging some days than others, of
Right.
course,
Yeah.
but I think that it is so needed, especially in the world we're living in today.
So what do you do though personally to kind of get over that? Do you cook? Do you
I
I mean,
work out.
I eat, so I'm an eater.
Yes.
Um,
I eat, I cook, I drink wine, and I work out. Those are
wow.
probably my best
Aw
things.
awesome. So where do you go? Where's your gym? I go to EOS.
I have a gym in my home.
Wow, fancy. Nice.
No, just more so it was what's needed in order for me to actually get there and make
Right?
it happen.
Are you a consistent person? Do you make time for yourself and you realize that that's good for you and you force yourself to
Yes,
to sweat and all that?
absolutely. I think for me, it's more about what it does for my mental health than my physical health. And I just really, really love being able to get in there, even on those days when you really don't want to. I think that's when you need it the most.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have, any sort of boxing equipment, at your
No, but
house?
I should.
I think literally that would be the best thing, and then there's that thing about how you tape people's faces on the thing. So, I'm just gonna let you work on that, so the next time I see you, we can talk about, the punching bag. We feel like punching bags sometimes, but then you do realize that what you do is important. And then from your perspective, you're out in the community, so if people don't understand what embracing our differences is, I'm going to do a really bad job and then you can correct me. But what I think embracing our differences is from people from all over the world come up with amazing positive sayings, and people from all over the world come up with amazing positive visuals. And then you combine them, you put them on really large panels, and then you hang them in public spaces, and you hope that people learn from them.
I think that that's a large aspect of what we do is our art exhibition, which is a lot of what you just described. It's really letting artists and writers express themselves and giving them that platform to do so, and hoping that the general community and especially students can really connect with them, learn from them, and really use them as discussion points. Really use them to talk about things that can often be challenging for individuals to really have these courageous conversations or to just look at something from a different point of view. And I think that's why we love using artwork is because you can have one art piece there with 30 different people looking at it and 30 different perspectives.
Yeah,
And that's what helps us see that's any issue, that's anything that we go through in life. You are going to have different people looking at it from a different perspective, made up of their life experiences, their background, their culture, their ethnicity. There are so many different things that make us who we are.
right.
And so that's where we love using artwork. But in addition to that exhibition, which is of course our public face, we are a year-round education program in Manatee, Pinellas, and Sarasota County schools. And that's really, I think, the most important part of what we do is really working directly with the students and with the teachers to try to create a culture in their classroom and in their school where every student feels like they belong, and they can actually focus on their academics, not on who's going to be picking on them today.
Right, right. Well, I happen to be one of your readers. So, I've
Yes.
actually read a couple of, and it's kind of cool. You put up your phone. I set myself up in my office and I got to read books to kids. So I've never gone into the schools. I'm sure that's an amazing experience. How did
Yes.
that happen where you're able to go into the schools and read some of the great books behind you? That's why I was setting up that you have great books behind you, because I know you go into the schools and you read, and then you also do videos, which I've done. How did all that happen? Was that something that happened under your watch?
It was about 10 years ago. Yes, it was one of my first years with the organization, but I can't take credit for creating the program. It was begun in partnership with Suncoast Campaign for Grade Level Reading.
Great.
And that's when, we saw this need for increased literacy in pre-K through third grade students. And then we also, of course, saw the need for diverse stories and perspectives to be brought into the classroom. And so we partnered those two ideas together and started our reading days. We now have two every year. where we go into elementary school classrooms, more than 500 for each reading day, over 10,000, 11,000 students who participate. And each of those students receives a book that we donate to them. And all of these books deal with our topics of kindness, respect, anti bullying, inclusion, and really help teach these lessons while they're in the classroom. And then they get to continue them at home when they bring that book home.
Isn't it interesting that maybe students can teach their parents something? And
Oh, students can teach their parents so much.
well, I had to teach my parents things. I mean, there were things that my parents didn't understand that, there's a generational thing sometimes that we have to deal with that
Always.
you don't understand. So here's one thing that I would love your perspective because you've been there 10 years. And I kind of feel like recently, it seems like if you have a different opinion from someone, you're wrong. I mean, I really think that there was a kinder, gentler time, and then it seems to have shifted. Have you
Yes.
felt that?
Absolutely. I do think that we are living in a much more polarized and divided time now where people are only surrounding themselves with those who think like them and feel like them. So therefore, when you meet someone or have an interaction with someone who has a different point of view, you automatically get defensive and you think that they're wrong and you're right. And there's no room for discussion. And that's what's just so unfortunate because I think we can learn so much from those who do have a different outlook than us.
Yeah. So the last embracing our differences I saw was down at the Bayfront last spring. It was a little cold, but I got to wear my leather jacket. What a great experience that is. And you really do create kind of a party. Can you explain what the opening day of Embracing Our Differences looks like?
Absolutely. So the opening day really is a community celebration. So we always have live music, spoken word poetry, food trucks, and then we have a lot of our arts and cultural partners who will have booths at the exhibition and they'll have interactive activities for people of all ages so that you're not just there to only check out the artwork like you can every day for the 3 months it's on display, but you also get to enjoy different types of art and different ways. And so it's a really fun experience. It's also just a great time to be together and to celebrate these values of inclusion and respect. And it's just so much fun to be in this most beautiful park. So you're in this incredible setting right there on the water and you get to listen to fantastic music.
It's you really are trying to, as a theater person, in acting, we talk about when we enter a room and we change the vibration of the room, and it's very interesting when I'm working with a student, and I'm just like, you've got to enter the room. You're going to change the atmosphere. You're going to change the energy. You've got to shake things up. So it's almost like an acting thing where the work that we do, and I experienced it with the festival, changes people and it changes the actual environment. It makes you, so I always feel like when I'm there, and even if I'm at a panel that maybe doesn't speak to me, I'm beside someone who's literally crying or that is so emotionally moved with that panel. So have you ever gotten a panel that got so much attention that you had to just um that you had to like make it in gold and take pictures of it and document it? I mean, are there any panels that just like outstood the rest?
Honestly, every year I feel like I have a favorite art piece in the beginning and it changes 12 times throughout that time of the exhibition. And that's because of hearing from someone else who looked at it in such a different way than I did. And I got this other insight from them that I had just never seen in that piece before. And so all of a sudden that piece is my favorite. And then I hear from someone else something about another piece or about that same one. And it just deepens it that much more.
Yeah.
So I think that every year there are standout pieces to each different person. I mean, my least favorite piece might be your very favorite piece. And that's what I love about the exhibition is it's a lot like an emotional roller coaster. There are some pieces that you absolutely love and really will lift you up and be this funny, inspiring piece. There are other pieces that are pretty intense and thought provoking and emotional. And that's what's so great about artwork is it's there to really provoke thought and conversation.
And people are afraid of that, it seems like, this in this day and age. They don't
Some
want,
people are.
yeah, they don't want the conversation. What do we do? How do we work through that? I mean, obviously, we have we're going into an era where people are not going to be listening as much. I mean, I can guarantee you.
I think
So
that we
how do we keep
continue
our
trying to have the conversations.
just keep at your pace
I
and
think that we have to. I think that you have to look at the person next to you and understand that that's your neighbor, and just try again and again in a kind way. I'm not talking about screaming at someone or trying to make your point over and over, but trying to actually listen to them, trying to hear them, and then trying to have that actual open conversation. I think that if we ever stop, that's where the real danger starts.
well, I think also there are individuals in the world that want that. They want to keep people divisive. What's that? There's that theory about the ant jar, how you put three different species of ants in a jar. They're fine. They stay to their own thing. But if you shake the jar, that's when they fight. I kind of feel like we're laboratory rats sometimes when it comes to some of these things.
It can
Um,
often feel like that.
yeah. So you have how many employees are a part of what you do? Obviously you have a
We
board of
have
directors. You have
five.
five.
Yes, we have 5 full-time employees. We
Great.
have amazing board of directors, ambassador circle members, so many different committee members who support us throughout the year. And then we do also have some part-time individuals and consultants who work very consistently with us.
So you and I had been talking about the festival because I had this great idea about taking some of the panels and activating them with actors and music and things. Of course,
Yes.
a hurricane came into our midst and kind of messed up our entire. It's the one event that we didn't get to do, and it was going to be one of my favorites, which is to take some of these the panels that don't find a home, give them to an arts organization like Sarasota Contemporary Dance, and letting them come up with a live performance piece that's inspired by that piece. Oh, I'm not done with that idea yet, Sarah. Just so
Good.
you know, it was a lot of work to get to nowhere, but I'm not giving up. So I'm like you. Sometimes I feel like you have to tilt at windmills. You have to be that Don Quixote type person, and people follow
Absolutely.
and people follow hopefully your good intentions, right? So when you're looking at this next year, obviously we're talking it's 2025. We have the whole entire year in front of us. What's coming up in that year that excites you?
Well, right now it's this year's exhibition
Boom.
that's
Yes.
currently at Bayfront Park and then will be at Pointer Park in St. Petersburg for the full month of March. So
What?
we're excited to be back in St. Pete for the second year.
What? That's exciting news. Which park is it in St.
Yes.
Pete?
At Pointer Park, it's right
Pointer
by
Park.
USF St. Pete.
Great.
Yes,
And you did
we're
some
thrilled.
panels at Sarasota Contemporary Museum.
At Sarasota Art Museum, yes,
Sarasota
we
Art
did.
Museum. Yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
you have the one that is our Bayfront. You have St. Pete, and then you also
And
what
we
else?
had the special Embracing Kindness exhibition at Sarasota Art Museum.
Yep.
And then honestly, for us, the core focus is on our education programs
Yeah.
that really take place throughout the year. And also working with a few organizations outside of the state who are expanding embracing our differences into their own communities. So
Really?
yes, this will be the 4th year this summer that Embracing Our Differences Michigan has presented an exhibition in Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti. And
Wow.
so that's been going really well. And then we have a new affiliate that is hoping to open in 2026 in Cleveland. So we are excited about that as well.
So is that like? I mean, I hate to ask this stupid question. Is that like a franchise? Do you have anything to do with it, or is it
Yes,
art?
so it is all coming from us. So
Wow.
they are affiliates. So it's a similar concept to a franchise or to a chapter. But so we are working very closely with them and providing them with the artwork that comes from our exhibition. And then a lot of times they're also doing a local call for artwork to really get that community buy-in and kind of putting on that combination exhibition.
That is exciting. I mean,
Yes, it's very exciting.
that's really exciting. Wouldn't it be nice that there's an avalanche of cities in the country and in the world that take up this drum? How do what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? How do you like to communicate with people? Because obviously you have a great website and then you have a great social media presence on Facebook and Instagram. What's your website? What's
Email. Oh, our
email?
website is embracingourdifferences.org. And that's a great way to learn more about the exhibition as well as our education programs and really any upcoming events. And then email is always a great way to get in touch with us personally. My email is sarah@embracingourdifferences.org.
You're going to
Sarah
get
with an
all
H at the
sort.
end.
Sarah with an H. Yes, be
Yes.
careful. I hope you get, I hope people are listening, number one, and or watching, and I hope that they get the idea that our arts organizations now need more support than ever. So if there's any time to be a little kinder, a little gentler to Sarah, our amazing CEO, it's now, right?
Thank
Do you
you.
need the hug now, or do you want to wait until
I will
spring?
always take hugs.
I
Always.
know. Hugs are important.
They really are.
You're amazing. The work you do is incredible. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
taking the time and sharing and talking about it.
Thank you.
People think the arts are a bed of roses, and and there's a lot of thorns these days. So thank you for picking up the fight and staying true to your mission. I'm so proud of you and your board for you sometimes you have to stand up for yourselves, which
We
you've done,
absolutely do.
in a very smart and heartfelt way. So I'm
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
that's my hope, is that more joy, we build that bigger table, and that there's more people that want your message, and not fewer. So
That's the goal. Absolutely. I am so grateful for you. I'm grateful for an amazing board of directors who really supports us and stands up for us every step of the way.
yeah,
For our amazing volunteers and supporters, because being a 5-person team, we of course can't do it without all of these incredibly dedicated volunteers. And I really appreciate you and Visit Sarasota helping us spread the message and really get out the word that art can be for everyone in different ways, and that we really do want to bring more people to the table. That's the goal.
build a bigger table.
Yes.
That's a good thing to end with. So thank you, Sarah, so
Thank
much,
you.
and hug your entire team for all the work. I know you've got a busy couple of weeks coming up. So make sure, if you're listening and or watching, you realize that this is a group that deserves your attention. And the work that they do is vital. It's pivotal. And if you're not spending some time with kids these days, you're missing out, I think. Sometimes kids know more than we do. So thank you, Sarah. And on behalf of all of us at Visit Sarasota and Behind the Masterpiece, we appreciate you and the work that you do. Keep that Don Quixote, emblem going, and the spear, and go get them, kid.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
You're very welcome. So thank you so much for listening and watching Behind the Scenes, Behind the Masterpiece. We're looking at the arts organizations in our area that make a difference, and Embrace Our Differences is surely one of them. So thanks so much for listening. We'll take good care. Thanks. Thanks for being in our audience. I'm Jeffery Kins, Sarasota Rising Living Arts Festival. If you'd like more information about the incredible work that Visit Sarasota does, please visit them at visitsarasota.com. Thanks so much for being a part of our audience.